Welcome to Behind the Veil. Now, here is your transformational coach, Tammy Hawk.
Awesome. Okay, so I love to start with intention. First, I'm going to tell you my intention, which is number one, I want to give you the most clarity, the most transformation, and the most transformation possible in the shortest period of time that we have.
Okay.
So clarity in moving forward and transformation as much as possible. So if I could give you one thing on this call, in this session, that could make the biggest difference in your life, what would that one thing be?
Are we speaking just like in general?
Yes. One thing that would serve you the most in your life right now.
Peace.
Peace. Okay. And peace in what area specifically?
All, all areas. I think in looking back a few years, I had no peace in no areas of my life. So just keeping peace and continuing to grow it and to
Okay.
build.
And if I were to ask you what one area of your life are you experiencing the least amount of peace, what area would that be?
Say maybe finances.
Finances. Okay. Let's take I want you to give me, obviously already know some of this, but I want you to give me a little bit of background in your love relationships. Let's look at the patterns in the men that you attract, meaning their characteristics. Are there any patterns as far as their similarities?
It's funny because I was talking about this with a friend the other day, and I don't know why. This is so random, but like my last relationship that I was in was pretty serious because when I was 20, I met this guy, and then at 21, we got married, and then at 23, I decided like this is way too chaotic, like we just need to go our own ways. And there are so many random things happening, like things I could never imagine on my own. Like, I mean, Tammy, I'm just gonna be raw and real with you. Like, he would like tell me things like, oh, like, I really want to sleep with my sister. And I just didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to say. And I just like got myself out of that situation immediately. I was like, like this is like the last like straw. Like we just have to go our own ways. I really don't care. And then I start my healing journey a little bit later on. And then as my healing journey goes on, I meet this other guy after I moved to another country and things were good, like we get along, we hang out, we have a good time. And then he told me that he really wanted to be like a dad, but he couldn't get over his ex. And he liked her because he felt like he was her dad. And I just don't understand like where those two situations were coming from. Do you know what I mean?
Wow. So we're attracting men with a lot of
Is that like mommy or
and
daddy? Because I
well,
really have never.
there's a lot of incest patterns. But see, the thing is okay, that is quite fascinating. All right. He felt like her. I mean, it's not unusual. See, it's not unusual to attract in some ways. My husband feels like a dad to me in some ways, where he like takes care of me, he provides for me. Like in some ways there's a father, like, because you go from the one dominant man in your life is your father to then having the next dominant man who is your husband, right? So there are similarities. But in what way was he saying, I feel like her dad?
Like just taking care of her, checking in. Hey, did you eat? Hey, is everything okay? Did you sleep good? And just like really like being like a father figure because I remember he was like telling me that, yeah, like I even talked to her mom and her mom was like, oh, can you please take care of her? And he was like, yeah, sure. And then he told me, he was like, is this what it feels like to be a dad? Because I kind of like it. And I was like, oh, okay. Maybe we should just go, I'll go this way, you go that way kind of thing.
Hmm. Interesting.
I don't know where that comes from though.
So what are like in these relationships, what are the things about these men that are no-goes for you? Well, like what ends it?
It's really like, well, one couldn't get over his ex, and the other one was telling me that he wanted to sleep with his sister, which it just kind of makes me want to throw up a little, just even thinking about saying that. But that's
It
literally,
was he was obsessed about it, or he just kind of mentioned it at one time and it was like
oh, they were talking about it for like 3 months before they came to visit.
he was talking to his sister about sleeping with her and they were talking about
They,
it for 3 months.
they wanted to make sure I was okay with it.
This is his full-blooded sister, same mom, same dad.
Yeah,
And both of them wanted to sleep with each other.
pretty much. So like, this is how, Tammy, this is crazy. I'm telling you, like, okay, so I was in this narcissistic relationship with him, right? He was very mean. He was very gaslighting and love bombing and all of that. And I knew I needed to get out. And for the last 3 months of it, I was already planning how to get out because, like, with a narcissist, it's not safe to just get up and leave or tell them, I'm leaving you because they will freak out. They will lose their shit. I'm sorry. Is it okay to swear?
Yes.
Okay.
Let your
They
freak
will,
flag fly, hun.
thanks. They will lose their shit and it's scary. So like I was mentally planning on 3 months how to get out of it. And then his family was coming to visit us for the first time from a different country. And they were going to stay with us for 3 weeks. And I remember like those 3 months in between, they were like, oh, like I hope Aneta doesn't hate your sister because she wants to sleep with you. Oh, I hope Aneta doesn't hate me because I want to sleep with you. And I was like, I literally had no idea what to do. So then I was just preparing myself mentally. I'm like, okay, like just be calm. If anything happens, like a situation arises, then you can bring it to the surface level and just talk to him in private. But that wasn't an option either. So then I remember I literally slept by myself for like 5 days until I left. Because they came to stay for 3 weeks and I left after 5 days. I was like, I just can't handle this. Like, this is way too chaotic. And then I just ended up leaving. And that's when I decided that we were just going to file for divorce and move on.
This is the quite possibly the weirdest thing I've ever heard. And that is saying a lot because I hear a lot of weird shit here. So you're telling me that both him and his sister wanted to sleep together. He's married to you and he's like discussing it with you. Are you saying the parents knew too?
Yeah, yeah, totally.
Everyone in the family knew that their daughter and son wanted to sleep together.
It's like his
Why?
it's just like, I don't
What
understand.
was the reason? What was the reason he gave you that he wanted to sleep with his sister?
They
And
miss,
vice versa. Why did she want to sleep with him?
they missed each other.
Do you mean in the same bed or do you mean sex?
I don't know what I think they met in the same bed and I think they wanted to just like cuddle and sleep in the same bed together, but that's literally what they were telling me. And I was like, I'm pretty
Okay.
sure it's like
Well, that
incest.
is that is a little bit better. I was thinking that you were referring to them having sex together, which bleh. But then when the with the parents, okay, so I get it. They're super close and he wanted to cuddle with his sister in bed.
Pretty much.
Okay. Still very weird, but not as bad as what I was thinking, which was like sex, you know?
It's just I really don't want to ask too many questions. I'm literally at the point where it's like they were just saying they wanted to sleep with each other. So I was already in my head. I was like, oh my God, what do I do? I'm like calling my mom. I'm like, hey mom, what am I supposed to do? And she's like, just see how it goes. You know, like you're gonna be fine. She's like, you can do this. And I was thinking to myself, well, I'll just suck up the 3 weeks that they're there, and then after the 3 weeks, when they leave, I'm gonna tell him that we're just gonna file for divorce and we're gonna go our own ways. But I lasted 5 days, and then I remember in those 5 days, I within 1 to 2 days, I quit my job, left my ex-husband, left the apartment, moved back to my parents' house, and then I left the country for 3 months because I just needed to decompress because that's kind of a lot of chaos in 5 days.
Yeah. So tell me this, because you mentioned that he's a narcissist, right? What ways did that show up in the relationship?
Love bombing, gaslighting, name calling, always putting me down, belittling me, controlling what I wear, controlling who I talk to, isolating me from everybody around me, my friends, my family. I didn't even have a good relationship with my parents. I was, in fact, scared to talk to my parents while I was in that relationship because he always made me feel like shit about it. You know, we go to my parents' house. Oh, he's this perfect person on the outside, but the second we get into the car, all hell breaks loose, and that was the scariest thing because I was never sober. I couldn't deal with him sober. I was always high or I was always drunk. And
Hmm.
or I was at work. If I wasn't at work, I was high or I was drunk. And that was really toxic as well because I couldn't handle it. I couldn't
Hmm.
handle him. And I knew I had to get out, but I was scared.
Yeah. And when you talk about like his control, what did that look like? What all did he try to control? He tried to control your relationship with your parents. That's a big one with narcissists. They try to get you away from anyone who could influence you against them. So, how else did that control show up?
A lot of different ways. I remember early on in the beginning, I was still really naive to it, but I remember I had this pair of shoes that I really liked, and he was like, "You can't wear those." And he's a foot taller than me, so he took them and put them on the highest shelf possible in the house and told me I wasn't allowed to wear my favorite pair of shoes. Or if my friends called me to hang out and they called me last minute. It happens sometimes. I do it all the time too. Not all the time, but I'll call my friends last minute and be like, "Hey, do you want to do something?" And
So
it
he tried to tell you what you couldn't do, what you couldn't wear.
exactly,
Uh-huh.
exactly. And then like if my friends called for like a last minute plan, he would say, "Oh, they're such terrible friends. Can't you tell they called you last minute? They didn't even make plans with you in advance. You shouldn't hang out with them." And then he would make me feel so bad about it. And I would just stay home and cry and just get high because I couldn't deal with him.
So manipulation, control. Okay, good. That's what I need to know. Okay. So for this process that I'm going to take you into, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you in a relaxed state. Not,
Okay.
I'm not putting you in a full hypnosis. I just need to get your body relaxed so that I can access information from within you, right? From your subconscious mind. What you need to do, the only thing you need to do is be totally open because the subconscious mind speaks first. So we're going to quiet the conscious mind to tap into the subconscious, but I really want to figure out where this pattern comes from. So, are you open and ready?
Please, because I'm
Okay.
confused.
You're confused?
Yeah, like where that pattern comes from.
Okay, cool. We'll find out whether it's in your lifetime or whether it comes before as well. Okay? Okay, so take a deep breath in and make your spine really, really straight. Picture like you have your spine is like on a string, and as you pull it from the top, you're like, burp. So you're really straight, feet flat on the ground. There you go. And I want you to take a deep breath in. And as you do, I want you to close your eyes, relax your body. And I want you to connect to your breath. Take slow, deep breaths in and release them out. And I want you to become aware of the earth rising up to meet you, the earth underneath you. And I want you to also connect to right above your head, there is a big healing bubble of energy. That's right, a big old bubble of healing energy sitting right on the top of your head. And I want you to become aware that at the top of your scalp is a moon roof. I want you to allow that moon roof to open in order to receive all this healing energy from this bubble above. And I also would like you to give this healing bubble a color. Any color that feels best to you right now. What color would that be?
Purple.
Purple. Beautiful. So connect to that big purple healing bubble above your head. And as you open that moonroof, I want you to allow this healing, loving, gentle energy to come down through the top of your head. Like liquid love, I want you to feel it pouring down. That's right, filling both right and left hemispheres of your brain. That's right, filling your eyes, your ears, your nose, just allowing it to move down with ease. And as it moves down, I want you to feel, notice, become aware that it's relaxing each and every muscle. That's right, all the muscles around your eyes and your ears and your nose and your jaw, just becoming completely relaxed as you're allowing this purple energy to move down your throat and your neck, your shoulders, moving down your arms to your elbows and your wrists, filling your entire arms with this beautiful healing purple energy. And as it moves down your body, become aware that it is also penetrating each cell as it's moving deeper and deeper and deeper. That's right, filling your heart center, your chest, and allow it to open up your heart on each side. Become aware that your heart is now opening to allow in this purple healing energy that feels safe and loving and gentle, moving down to fill each and every organ, each muscle, each tissue, each strand of DNA, RNA, all the way down to your epigenetics as it moves down, down, down to your hips, your knees, and your feet, filling your entire body with this relaxing, healing, beautiful energy. Now, as you take a deep breath in, I want you to exhale this purple bubble out from your body. That's right. I want you to breathe it out to make a complete bubble around your body, around your entire auric field. That's right. Almost taking up the entire room that you're in. And as long as you're in this purple healing bubble, you're safe and you're connected and you're loved. And at any point in time, you feel any sort of discomfort, all you have to do is become aware of this purple bubble that you're in and completely relax. Now I'm going to move your attention inside of your body. That's right, within your body. And we're going to move back to our conversation that we had around this relationship you had where you felt manipulated and controlled. And I want you to think about either a particular time or maybe you can generalize and just tap into the feelings you felt when you were with him when it was at its most toxic points. And I want you to recognize that there's a place in your body where these emotions are stored, the emotions you felt at these times where it was the most toxic in this relationship. There's a place in your body where these emotions stem from. First impression, take your hand and place it on that area. Perfect. First impression, what color is it?
Red.
Red. I want you to go ahead and move into that red within your chest. Move all the way to the center of that red. That's right. I want you to feel into it. And as you do, I want you to notice that from that red is projecting out from your body an image. And as you allow this image to get clearer and clearer, you see and you notice and you recognize that on this image is the first time you felt this emotion. Could be a picture, a memory, or a series. Allow that to get clear. You obviously have it because the smile came over your face. What do you have it?
Just thought of a memory from
Okay.
the beginning of the relationship.
Okay, perfect. I want you to tune into that memory and allow that picture to get very clear. First impression, how old are you in this image?
20.
You're 20. And I want you, are you with him in this image
When we were first meeting.
when you met?
Yep.
So I want you to tune into that red bubble that you are in on this moment in this memory. I want you to go all the way inside of it. Noticing and recognizing, how does this 20-year-old you feel? How is she feeling? What are her emotions?
I was excited But at the same time, I felt like I should have trusted my gut a little bit more about the red flags.
And what were the red flags?
So I grew up in a very like religious, like Catholic household. So my parents taught us to go to church every single week, and we did. And everybody always has those pictures of like what Satan would potentially look like. And I remember the first time I saw my ex-husband on the dating app, I immediately saw Satan in him. And I knew it was not a good idea, but at the same time, I was like, let's just see where it goes.
Perfect. I want you to tune into that. I want you to see that it's actually connected to a previous memory. I want you to take me back to the first time you felt these emotions. Let the picture pop up. You got it?
Yeah.
How old are you? First impression?
How old am I?
Yes.
For the first impression of the memory,
Yes.
20.
20. I want you to tune into this 20-year-old you. Why is she not trusting herself?
Because I was naive and I wanted to believe that if I'm a good person, then good things would have come back to me. But it wasn't fully in that moment because that was my moment to learn to get tougher through the process of being with him.
I want you to ask her why she's not trusting herself and reading those red flags.
That self-image, I was scared. I felt a lot. I felt scared a lot. I was constantly judging myself and who I was and underestimating my capability of who I am.
Mhm. So I want you to go into that bubble and I want you to look deep into her eyes. And I want you to ask her what she's believing about herself in this moment.
But she was my 20-year-old self.
Mm-hmm. What
She
is
was
she?
believing that she was ugly
Mm-hmm.
and nobody would love her
Nobody would love her. Why does she believe nobody will love her?
because growing up, I didn't really hear a lot of that. And I think the first time that I can fully remember when my mom said, I love you was when I was 17 going through a breakup in high school or 16 or 17 years old. And I was going through a breakup. And I think that was the first time that I actually heard her say, you're going to be okay. I love you because they don't communicate that much when it comes to emotions and feelings.
Mm-hmm. So she doesn't believe that anyone will love her because her parents didn't tell her. What else is
Yeah.
she believing about herself in this moment?
She was just feeling lost
She feels lost. Why does she feel lost?
because she didn't know what she fully wanted. She always had big dreams since being a little kid, but when it came to the mental and emotional support growing up, it wasn't there. So it was constantly her paving a way and learning that she wanted to do something different. She wanted to do something that would make a difference. She didn't know how, so then she kept going about her daily life. And then it came across this guy who she thought it would be fine. You know, we didn't communicate emotions, we didn't communicate about boundaries. I wasn't used to that, so I thought it was normal. And I was okay with it because of that.
So I want you to take me back to a memory where you needed support from your parents. You needed them and they weren't there. Pull up a memory. It should be the first one that pops up. Do you have it?
Yeah,
Okay. How old are you? First impression in this memory?
still a kid. The thing is, it's like they
Do you
were
know
all going.
do you have the exact age? Because I believe it'll pop up like a number or you'll get that picture of yourself. Do you have the age?
I can't think of a specific age.
Okay. So I want you to tune it. We'll go with 5. Okay. I want you to see your 5-year-old self, and I want you to see an image of your 5-year-old self with your parents. And I want you to tune into this little 5-year-old you. And I actually want you to feel the pain she's feeling right now because she has all these needs that go unmet by her parents. If you would like to be featured as a guest on our podcast, where you can share your experiences anonymously and receive the support you need, you can apply by clicking on the link in the description. Now back to the podcast. So I want you to move into her bubble, to her red bubble. It's okay if the emotions come up. I want you to let them come up and move out because that's how we get them out. And I want you to move into her red bubble, and I want you to feel the pain she's experiencing. She has all these unmet needs. And I want you to tell her that you've come back from the future to be with her, to fulfill these needs. I want you to scoop her up in your arms. I want you to look deep into her eyes. I want you to tell her how wonderful she is. I want you to tell her how beautiful she is, how amazing. She's absolutely perfect in every single way. What else does she need to hear from you right here in this moment?
I just wanted to hear them to say, I'm proud of you.
I want you to tell her how proud you are of her. I want you to tell her that she's done such a wonderful job of just existing, because that's all she came here to do, is just exist and be. And she had needs that her parents did not know how to fulfill. So I want you to let her know that you're here to fulfill those needs now, that you're her superhero, that she is the most important person to you. I want you to tell her how much you love her. I want you to tell her how much she means to you in each and every way. And I want you to tell her that you are going to fulfill those needs deep within her, that that's why you came back. What does she need from you right here in this moment?
Grace and gentleness.
Mm-hmm. What else?
Love, grace, and compassion.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of compassion.
Mm-hmm. What advice can you give her for her life?
That you are worthy and you are capable.
Mm-hmm.
And you always have been worth it.
Mm-hmm. Is she believing you? Yeah. I want you to grab a hold of her hand, and I want you to take her over to her parents. And I actually want you to speak for her to her parents. I want you to tell them what she needs for them to hear. Start with your mom.
What she needs to hear.
What does this 5-year-old girl need for her mother to know? What does she need from her mom?
Just to hear that she's proud of her.
Mm-hmm. What else?
That was always the biggest thing. Is I can remember I always did everything I could to want to show my parents that I am capable and I am worthy and I am doing great things with my life, but I just never heard those words that I'm proud of you or congratulations.
Mm-hmm.
And it
Tell,
wasn't
tell
until
her mom what it felt like to not hear those words that she needed.
felt like no one can hear me inside.
Mm-hmm.
Felt like I was screaming inside and no one can hear me.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I was 12 years old, I remember my mom came up to me and she was like, do you need motivation or something? And I was like, no, actually, I'm fine. Because I was so used to motivating myself at that point, maybe not 12, maybe between 12 to 16. And I remember she asked me, she's like, do you need motivation or something? I was like, no, I'm okay. I've been working on that, but thanks.
Yeah, so I want you to tune into this 5-year-old little girl. She didn't have the words. She didn't know the emotions, not really. So you get to speak for her because she desperately needs to be heard. She needs to be seen and she needs to feel these emotions because she is still inside of you feeling these emotions. And I want you to speak on behalf of her to her mother. What does she need to hear from her mom? I'm proud of you. You're perfect. You're doing it. There's nothing more you need to do. You're just worthy. You don't have to do anything to be worthy because it is just your birthright. It is who you are. It is the perfection that you are. Your mom didn't have the words because she was not taught. So you get to teach her right here in this moment what this little girl needs, because that's what your mom needed when she was a little girl. And she had no one to cheer her on. She had no one to show her the love that she desperately needed. And so all that pain became your pain on the moment of conception. And as you feel into this pain and realize that it actually didn't come from you, it actually came from her and you inherited it. By feeling it, it gets to move out of both of you because you get to be the hero in the story. You're the one that volunteered to heal the lineage. You're the one that said the buck stops here. You're the one who stepped up to the plate and said, I'll take it. I'll feel it. Let the emotions move out. As they move out, they're disintegrating from the whole lineage. Don't be scared to feel them. As you feel them, you heal them. And as you heal them, they completely dissolve and resolve with ease and grace and flow. That's right. Recognizing that the lineage is completely dismantled from this moment forward. Solved and resolved. As the pain is felt, just completely dissolves. I want you to look deep into this 5-year-old girl's eyes, you. I want you to see all of her beauty, all of her perfection, all the wonder that is her. And I want you to allow her to feel this because she got an image of herself that was faulty. It wasn't real. It was fake. And so I want you to give her the real one. I want you to instill the beliefs in her that she needs moving forward, that she doesn't get to just take whatever comes along, but she gets to handpick her life. She gets to handpick who she's going to be and who she's going to allow in her life. She's not going to take just whatever comes along. No, she is far too important. She is far too brilliant to allow just anything or anyone to come into her life, that she gets to handpick it, that she gets to say, okay, this is for me. No, that is not for me. I want you to empower her to do this. I want you to give her your purple color. I want you to put it all around her, and I want you to tell her that this is her safety bubble, that this is her empowerment bubble, that this is everything that she needs to remind her who she really is. I want you to give her the new identity, that she is the creator of her reality, that she gets to mold the clay, that she is the perfect allower, and that everything for her will come perfectly from this moment forward because of this work that she's doing. So I want you to see her in that purple bubble. I want you to give her a big hug. And I want you to tell her it is done. That's right. I want you to tell her it's done. I want you to tell her that because of her bravery, because of this work that she and you agreed to do that you're doing right now, everything is going to shift and change from this moment forward. All the magic that is inside of her, she's finally going to see it. It's going to be real and tangible, and there'll be proof of it everywhere because she wasn't scared to go back and rewrite history. That's right. She wasn't scared to rewrite history because she knows that she is the creator and that she chose all of this because she wanted those reminders to wake her up at the perfect moment, at just the right time. That's right. And now she gets to allow it with ease. That's right. Now I want you to take her and I want you to shrink her to the size of a postage stamp or smaller. And I want you to take her, physically take her and place her inside of your heart. That's right. Reach out, grab her, put her inside of your heart. See your heart opening to receive her. Beautiful. Take a deep breath in. Connect to her inside of there. That way, you and her can have an ongoing relationship. And when she needs you, I want you to promise her that you are going to come back and be with her whenever she calls on you. In fact, I want you to come up with a code that she can give you at any point in time that will let you know that she needs you. It could be a symbol, a color, a word. You come up with that with her so that she knows you will come for her. What is that sign?
Color purple.
Purple. Beautiful. Every time you see that color purple, I want you to pull her up on the screen of your mind, and I want you to hug her. I want you to ask her what she needs, because she's going to let you know when she needs you now. And to build up that trust, you have to come back every time she calls you. Take a deep breath in, and I want you to move about 30 feet above that scene. And as you move up above that scene, I want you to look down and see the spot where she was standing in. I want you to see her parents. And I want you to make your way back to the present. That's right. Make your way back to the present. And as you do, I want you to look down and see all the old structures, all the old paradigms crumbling and dissolving. I want you to see them dissolving, resolving with so much ease, and in their place, new, beautiful, strong structures. From this work that you have done, all the old structures are crumbling. All the old codes are completely dissolving. And as you make your way back to the present, you're seeing those new, strong, beautiful structures coming up to take their place, solving and resolving with so much ease, so much grace, and so much flow. As you make your way back to the present, 2 years from now, 1 year from now, all the way back to this present moment, stopping, looking down, seeing you sitting there right here and now. And I want you to make your way back, down, 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 to reintegrate all the different parts of you back together, seeing that moonroof open to receiving all those parts of you. And as your spirit makes its way down, down, down to reintegrate back into the body, I want you to feel all the cells of your body recoding, regenerating to this new, beautiful system, this new grid, this new paradigm that you've allowed, re-energizing each and every cell. That's right. Removing all the shadows, all those shadows that no longer serve. I want you to see them just sort of vanishing as the light of your consciousness comes down, down, down to reintegrate, coming down through the top of your head, your shoulders, your hips, allowing for all the different parts of you to come together. Take a deep breath in, allowing that purple bubble all around you to come into your consciousness, realigning, recalibrating, wiggling your fingers and your toes. You could bat your eyes open when you're ready.
Okay,
Welcome back.
thanks.
How do you feel?
I feel good.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Tell me what you noticed.
just felt like released.
Yeah, you
Feel
released a
really,
lot.
yeah, a lot in the last couple of years. Oh, good though.
Mm-hmm. So usually it was interesting. I could tell there's a lot of stuff from your childhood that you haven't processed yet, because it was really, you couldn't really connect to those early memories, right? You're still dealing with the trauma of your adulthood, right? So you got some as soon as I could connect you to that 5-year-old girl, you you were you immediately connected to your emotions, which is really what you want. But it's just the tip of the iceberg, isn't it? Because you have a lot of emotion to move out of there. That little girl still got a lot of pain in there.
Feels good though.
Yeah.
To get-
Yeah.
I know I've been feeling that.
Yeah. Because here's the deal. I know a lot of times on our healing journey, I know I was like this. I was so quick to want to forgive and move on. I didn't want to hold anything against my parents. But the truth was, is that you have to feel those emotions before they can be released. Yeah, you just need to let yourself cry because
I
that
myself wanted to hear from my parents. I'm proud of you. And sitting here at 25 years old today, my mom texted me 2 days ago, I'm proud of you.
she did.
And even when I was going through a divorce, they didn't even say anything. They didn't even ask me what I needed. They, it was whatever I told them. I told them the plan. This is what's happening. This is what we're doing. They said okay. They were physically supportive, but emotionally and communication wasn't there.
Hmm.
To another country, they were like, why? I don't understand. Start a podcast, start writing. They're like, okay, da. I remember, I think like a few months ago, my mom was like, Aneta, you really think you're gonna make it? And I was like, yeah, mom, I'm gonna make it. And then 2 days ago, she texted me, I'm proud of you.
Mm.
It's like, yeah, mom, it will. And I am. And then when she just randomly texted me that, I was like, I couldn't even process my emotions. I felt so numb.
Hmm. Hmm. So beautiful. That little girl within you, she needs to still feel these emotions. You need to sit with them and you need to let them just come out. Here's the misconception that I see with people. They think if they cry, they're never going to stop. They're never going to stop feeling the pain. But that's not the way it works. Once the emotions are emoted, they move out of your body. But right now, they're still in there. That's why, you tried so hard to gulp it down when it was coming up. You're like, it got about here and you tried to push it back down. But once you started letting it come out, it just comes out.
Yeah,
There's no need to keep it in your body. And when it comes to your parents, what I would really suggest is writing them a note. Not a note that you have to ever give them, but just saying, all I wanted for you all these years from my mom, from my dad, was just to tell me that you're proud of me, to tell me that you believed in me, to tell me that you knew that I could do it, that I could do anything, because that's what that little girl needed. And is that still your love language where words still your love language, how you receive love? Yeah. And so that's just important to you.
for the longest time, I was just getting beat down with words. My ex-husband was such a jerk. My brother wasn't even communicating with me. So, like, my parents didn't know how to communicate in a healthy way. And it's like, I just want more positive words. Being in the dance studio, those weren't positive words. Those were, you're too fat. You don't look like this person. You're not good enough. It was always, you're not good enough. And I remember my parents came from Poland to America when they were 18, and they had my brother and I young. And I remember my dad was traveling a lot for work, like back to my 5-year-old self. We were living in a nice house, always food on the table. They did everything they could to provide in the physical, but the emotions and the communication wasn't there. And I remember like the 5-year-old me sitting at the top of the staircase and saying bye to my dad while he goes to work, and I would only see him 1 to 2 times a week. And I told myself, I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I know that when I get older, I want to do something different. I appreciate what they're doing, but I need to do something different in order to have different results in a healthier and a better way. And that's all I've really been wanting to do is to pave my own path and to make them proud.
Well, here's the thing. You get to meet your own needs. Because when you're looking for love externally, it doesn't come. You got to look for love internally. You get to give yourself the love. You get to give yourself the, I'm proud of you. You're doing it. You get to give yourself, oh my gosh, look at what you're doing. This is so cool. You get to do that for you because no one will do it until you do it for yourself because our beliefs are calling everything in. So my dominating command all my life was I'm unlovable. So I rejected anyone who said that they loved me because I didn't believe that that could be. So I had to change the belief first. So for you, that's what you get to work on. You get to work on loving and adoring you. And you got to look at all those age, what age needs you first? For me, I started with age 5. You can move to your teenagers, you can move to whatever area, but I want you to spend time with her. I want you to tell her what she needs to hear, what she desperately wants to hear. And as you do this, you're going to start to change because you're not going to need it from someone else. You're going to have it deep within you. And you will attract it from everyone else because it's inside of you. But you get to be your cheerleader. You get to be your lover. You get to be all those things first, right? I know that's a deep process. I told you it's a deep process.
I'm so thankful though.
Yeah,
I wouldn't change it.
good. So what did you have any ahas?
I think it's everything always ties in together. I was always looking for love in all the places growing up that it resulted me to get into a really unhealthy relationship because I didn't believe in myself or have the didn't think I had the capability of loving myself.
Mm-hmm.
So that resulted me to go to somebody who gave me attention at first, and then as time went on, they unfolded who they were, and just shit hit the fan every single time.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
then always looking for validation in every place except myself. Looking for validation from my parents, looking for validation in the dance studio, looking for validation by trying to be the best at work, looking for validation in a toxic, toxic relationship. But the real validation was within.
Beautiful. And that's something you can control, isn't it? Yeah. So you get to be that for you. And truly, that's the only place where we can shift. Nothing can shift externally until we shift internally. And isn't that beautiful to know? I'm so proud of you. You did it. What was that?
I don't know, I think someone dropped a chair upstairs.
Oh,
Sorry, there's random background noise.
no, that's so good. And one thing that I was not surprised by, but like it was really great was how easily you went there, how open you are. You know how I told you, I there's this is such a deeply healing experience, mostly for the people that are really open. There wasn't a lot of resistance. You just went with me. And that's why you had a really big connection to your emotions, is because you let yourself just go there. So I so appreciate that.
I appreciate you.
You're going to be, you have no idea the cool places you're going to go. Like, you are just going to be freaking unstoppable. Like, you're not going to, no one is going to be able to weight you down. You're just going to be like, boop. I'm not joking. You are going to be absolutely unstoppable.
I'm so thankful for this opportunity to get this out because even the other day when my mom texted me, I'm proud of you, like I wanted to shed a tear, but I couldn't. I couldn't even get a tear out. And this is really needed because, you see people just letting their emotions out. I remember 3 months ago, um, I don't know why. I cried for 4 days. Nothing was wrong. I wasn't in pain. Nobody was upsetting me. Just cried nonstop for 4 days. because I was finally learning to feel my emotions. I was numb for so many years. And this was like another level because I feel like I was shedding those tears from my adulthood trauma, but this is from childhood trauma. This
Hmm.
was
Oh, yeah. I'm so glad. Yeah. I find a lot of oftentimes when people start to wake up, that's what they do. They cry. Their emotions start to rise up and all of a sudden they can't hold them down anymore. And so they feel it in all sorts of different ways. And it can be so overwhelming because it almost comes on all at once. But that's what happens when we wake up. It's like we have an emotional body that, oftentimes we're told when we're little, choke it down. You can't cry. We're talked out of our emotions. And so guess what happens? They all just get stuck in the body. Well, that's why, when we get to adulthood, we're so fucked up because we have all these years of unfelt emotions. And here we are, then we get to parenthood and we are just a fucking mess because we have so much stored up, pent up pain within us. So I love that you cry. Like for me, even though I'm very in tune with my emotions, still every month around the same time, the pain rises up within me, all the pain from my lineage. So now that I've worked through my own pain for years and years, now I'm going down the track. I'm going down my father's lineage. So we get to clear it for everyone.
this has been incredible. Thank you for the opportunity, and I'm really thankful.
Yes, love. And I look forward to being on your podcast.
We will do that very soon. I'm excited about it.
Yes. Okay, darling. Well, you have a good day.
You too. Take care, Tammy.
You too, hun. Bye.